Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Like China. Hopefully this is working. Got the volume on. So this is Donald Trump's agenda. So we're going to talk about it, talk about some of the things he's saying in regards to the education and how he wants to deal with it.
Is that will power our movement for great schools. First, we will respect the right of parents to control the education of their children. Second,
First, he wants to respect parents' rights to educate their children. Um, what rights do parents not have to educate their children? I don't know. No idea. Don't know what rights the parents are missing, to be honest. They can educate their children as they feel free. Homeschool, public school, private school. Now, obviously, there's some. I guess this is regards to school choice. I won't go into it right now, but we'll keep listening.
we will empower parents and local school board to hire and reward great principals and teachers, and also to fire the poor ones, the one whose performance is unsatisfactory. They will be fired.
I think bad teachers already get fired. Why does Donald Trump look like AI? Am I tripping? This looks like an AI made Donald Trump video. I am dead serious. This does not look like a real person. You know, I'm able to spot the subtle nuances. This doesn't look like a real person. Hire good teachers, fire bad ones. I mean, yeah, no shit. I mean, what else are you gonna do? Hire bad teachers and fire good ones. Hire mediocre teachers and fire less mediocre and more mediocre. I don't know. I mean, that's already a thing. Now, the question is not whether or not that's a thing. The question is, what will be the standards of quality teachers that exist in the Donald Trump administration and the Donald Trump presidency? Is it a teacher that teaches everything but, hey man, slavery existed and white people used to suck? We shall see, man. We shall see what those standards really
Like on
are.
The Apprentice, you're fired. Third, we will
Good one,
ensure
Donald
our
Trump.
classrooms are focused not on political indoctrination, but on teaching the knowledge and skills needed to succeed. Reading, writing, math, science, arithmetic, and other truly useful subjects. Fourth, we will teach students.
I would have to see what those useful subjects are. I would argue that some subjects are not really that important. But I did hear a good argument that learning this just helps certain skills, not the knowledge itself. So, I don't know. Depends. Um, Politics in schools. I mean, I think junior year in high school, at that point, is where you should be learning the intricacies of the government and learning the intricacies of politics, not being taught political rhetoric, but allowing you it or teaching you how to contextualize political information. I think that is valid, right? What are you gonna get rid of social studies? You know what I'm saying?
Students to love their country
Also, social
and
studies
not
is
to
one of
hate
the like
their
worst
country like they're
names
taught right now.
of all
Fifth,
time.
we will support bringing back prayer to our schools. Sixth, we will achieve.
What is prayer illegal? What school can you not pray? Is this a thing? Or are we just making stuff up because it sounds good? Prayer is not illegal in schools. Now, if you're gonna force people to pray, like I pledge allegiance to the flag, and then you have to tell them you also are mandated to pray, then that is wild, and that is against the freedom of religion. So no go, oh go. All right. So we should not have that, but depends on what he means by prayer, because I don't think prayer is illegal in schools.
Schools that are safe, secure, and drug free, with immediate expulsion for any student who harms a teacher or another student.
Immediate expulsion if a student harms a teacher. Valid. Not gonna lie. Valid. Students should not be putting their hands on teachers. That is wild. Drugs. What are they gonna drug test students? I don't know how that goes. But I'm not gonna lie. Some students come to school high as hell. So yeah, we gotta get rid of weed from schools. I'm gonna keep that a stack. I actually agree with that. See, I can agree with certain things. I just can admit when he's an absolute unhinged basket case. Well, there's some things I agree with. Um, as for putting your hands on students, that's where it gets a little bit more tricky because student on student interaction is not simple usually, like whether it's sports related, whether it's like romance related. To say that they get an immediate expulsion if they get in a fight at school, I mean, Donald Trump, you never got in a fight, you never got, you know what I'm saying? Hey, put your hands up, let's box, you feel me? You disrespecting me, I'm disrespecting you. You know, make America great again, make America great by putting your hands up and let's fight like men. How about that, Donald Trump? Now, I will say it does go too far. So, violence is not okay in schools, and hitting your teacher is not okay at schools, and doing drugs in school is not okay in schools. I agree with those things.
Seventh, we will give all parents the right to choose another school for their children if they want. It's called school choice. Eighth, we will ensure
School choice. I'm so hesitant on school choice. I think it sounds good to like the average person, but when you really think about the potential damage when it comes to students, funding, and certain schools and districting, I think it gets much more complicated. So I'll leave it at that.
students have access to project-based learning experiences inside the classroom to help train them for meaningful work outside the classroom. Ninth, we will
Students already do projects. What? Like 80% of things he's saying doesn't happen or already happens. So I'm like, students already do projects. Like, what projects are we talking about? What? Oh, I get the project he wants to. He needs more workers to work at Trump Towers. So he needs like, we need more people who need to push paper. We need more grunts. We need more grunts who know how to work the assembly line. And I'm gonna teach them how to be a grunt. They're gonna become a grunt. So when they become a citizen, they work at my corporation. So we get more workers that are able to do their work satisfactory. And we're gonna condition them. We're gonna condition them to like the work they're doing. Otherwise, I don't know what projects you're talking about.
strive to give all students access to internships and work experiences that can set them on a path to their first job. They're going to
That
be
already
very,
happens.
very successful. I want them to be more successful than Trump. Let them go out and
No,
be
you
more
don't.
successful. I will be the happiest person in the world. But we want
Cap.
our children to have a great life.
Cap.
to be
I need a
successful.
soundboard of the
10th,
cap meter.
we will ensure that all schools provide excellent jobs in career counseling so that high school and college students can get a head start on jobs and careers best suited to their God-given talents. This is how we will ensure a great education for every American child.
I will say that I think ensuring that there is better preparation for the real life and jobs and stuff needs to be a necessity in schools. So if he's able to implement that, we'll see how that kind of go about. Does it require you destroying the Department of Education, getting rid of it? Hell no, that's freaking unhinged. But does it? Could you say that those are potential strategies to improve the Department of Education? Sure, I think you could say that. I think you 100% could say that. But these are talking points that some talking points sound good, some talking points is just chatting, just words coming out meaning nothing. So like some is okay. The problem is what exactly are the thresholds for the certain things that he's saying? What are these projects? What qualifies a good teacher? What are what is violence necessarily for like a student? What are these qualifications and these thresholds? Because depending on what they are, despite it sounding good, it actually is absolutely unhinged. So we'll see.
And one other thing I'll be doing very early in the administration is closing up the Department of Education in Washington, D.C., and
So
sending
dumb.
all education and education work and needs back to the states. We want them to run the education of our children.
So basically, everything that he said beforehand means nothing if you are giving all autonomy if you're giving all autonomy to the state? So all those proposals mean nothing. See, just MAGA, listen to me. Use a little bit of logic. You say you're going to do all these things. How are you going to do those things if all the power is given to the states? Where does that leave you room to do anything? Talk to me. How does that make sense? Let's just use 1 + 1 = 2. Come on. Does that make sense? No, because Donald Trump just be talking. Complete autonomy over education. No, that's stupid. Now, do states deserve like most of how they're teaching kids? To an extent. But there needs to be standards that is universally accepted across the board. The reason why standards are needed is to not allow certain things that it would be potentially against American values and American Constitution, right? For example, let me make this easy to understand for the MAGA nutcases, okay? So, California, if we made it where that state has full 100% autonomy over how they're teaching kids, I'm sure you guys would dislike any aspect of California making it their mission to teach LGBTQ stuff to kids under the age of pubescent teens, right? Common sense, okay? Right? I'm pretty sure you guys would dislike it if they taught in schools how all white people are racist. That would be dumb. That would suck, right? So, standards are necessary. Standards allows everybody to kind of do it their own way, but still hold certain important American ideals and values. So the idea of giving states complete autonomy is dumb. It just is. So continue though. Continue.
because they'll do a much better job of it. You can't do worse. We spend more money
You
per
can't?
pupil
Are you sure?
by 3 times than any other nation, and yet we're absolutely at the bottom. We're one of the worst. So you can't do worse.
One of the worst is a stretch. We are not good though. We're not as good as we should be. But the answer to we're spending this money, like our high end is super high. It's just we have so much like of this middle and low that is just super low. High end is super high, middle and low is super low. If you give it back to the states and you just say fix it, like how can you guarantee what exactly are they doing to fix this issue though? Like that's the question, right?
Worse. We're going to end education coming out of Washington, D.C. We're going to close it up, all those buildings all over the place, and you have people that in many cases hate our children. We're going to send it.
Oh yeah, these people in the Department of Education hate our children, man. They hate them. That can't stand them.
all back to the states. Thank you very much. Here are
All right, Donald. Oh, I could wait. How valid is this? How valid is this? I wonder, like.
here are
Oh
10
no, I want to see the stuff at
Thank you
the
very
end.
much.
Text Trump to 88022. What do y'all think I can send Donald Trump? Like what would be something I could send Donald Trump to this message and get like an interesting response out of? Now, of course, I don't want to say, "Yo, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z to Donald Trump." No, of course not. I don't want to do that. I don't intend to do that. Also, I don't want to go to jail. So that would be crazy. But I'm talking about like something funny, like humorous. You know what I'm saying? That'd be interesting. I wonder. I bet there is a lot of people that say Trump, you're racist, and they're saying all this to 88022, even though this is just a bot account. Donald Trump never reads any of these messages. But okay. Well, hey, Donald Trump's education plan makes no sense. It's just talking. It just sounds good. It doesn't make sense. I think he adamantly contradicts himself in the entire education plan. It's either you're going to do something to change education or you're going to do nothing to change education. Like, you can't be both. That doesn't make sense, right? It's just like how you were saying Kamala Harris has no plan. She has a communist plan, and she stole my plan. That doesn't make sense. You're just talking. It doesn't make sense. Well, MAGA, you stand up.